Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about, I guess, the mindset or the journey of being a investor or a collector in the Pokemon hobby sphere slash hobby space. Let's get right into this. So, as you can see here, these are the only two booster packs that I've actually owned. I actually was able to get the pre-orders for the Pitch Black booster box, so we will have that one in its beautiful acrylic case. But I want to go ahead and show you guys this Mega Evolution box that I had a camp for a couple of hours for. Same thing here with the Mega Evolution box or the Phantasmal Flames booster box. I had to camp out as well for that. I had to camp for a couple of more hours than the other one, but was it worth it? I guess. I guess if you want to say it's worth it. I mean, long term, guys, I'm not. I guess it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, how the Pokemon market will play out for those that are going to be here for the long run, and what that means to be here for the long run, right? Whether it's playing the TCG, whether it's collecting, grading, buying and selling, all those different, avenues of the Pokemon space, content creation, who's going to stay here for the end. I think that there's a lot of success that is able to be made within this space. So that is the majority of the reason that it continues to have this not bear market, this bullish sentiment, right? Because like we've always seen, guys, Pokemon has gone up over the long run, and there's only a couple of, I guess, stages of where the demand really like cools off. Maybe prices come down, crash, whatever you want to call it. Um, like I said, maybe the ones that have been here the longest, they can tell you if that has happened or not. But like I said, for me, I can't give you that information because I've only been here for a year, almost about to be 2 years. We're going on for 2 years, guys, of being in the Pokemon space, and it's pretty cool. I've gotten some stuff. I've collected. I've traded. I've bought, sold. I still do that as well. But I think I'm focusing more towards collecting the booster boxes for the investment aspect of it, scarcity wise, And I think everybody's mindset is a little bit different. Now, the actual, I guess, grit comes through and, cuts into everybody when, the bear market happens, when economic instability, when life happens, different situations arises when you have to maybe sell your investments or sell your positions. Maybe those that are already in the waiting game can play the waiting game. They are able to take that risk. They are able to mitigate it through, them selling, them, doing all these sorts of things, or they're just at the point where they can just hold. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean you have to be rich to hold. It just means that you have to hold it for the foreseeable future, for however much you want to hold it and realize the gain, whether it's in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, whatever your price point is at for the products that you hold, that you buy, and that you have a conviction in. And so that brings us to different investment theses, different avenues or points of getting into that space to make money at the end of the day. I'm going and talking to the investor crowd, the people that want to make money off of this, because again, the collectors and the ones that just care about the TCG playing it, they don't really care about this. And that's that's an awesome mindset and awesome way. If that's how you feel truly, then that's something that is amazing. I think many people want to get the money because they see the money. Money is a powerful influencer in your decisions, good and bad. Doesn't mean that if you want to make money, it doesn't mean that a bad thing. It's also a good thing, right? If you want to make more money, if you want to get ahead in life, you have to maybe find ways to do that. And so maybe you should equate it to, learning a skill, um, going into a trade, whatever the case may be, starting a business, however it needs to be. But Pokemon can probably do those same things for you. If you have the Pokemon vending businesses and all that, you may be able to make profit and, possibly eventually live off of that. So is that going to be everybody? Possibly not. It just depends. There's different factors to that. And so, yeah, I guess if you are hearing this video, take it from someone who, I guess, invests not necessarily heavily into Pokemon, but maybe just someone that just like different perspective, right? Because we have all these perspectives from the Pokemon space and the YouTube influencer space, whatever you want to call it, good or bad, where they tell you this, and that, the third. And I would say that, yeah, it's pretty cool to invest into it. Maybe I'm not getting the gains that it's coming out that it's out to be because that I don't invest enough, right? Again, these boxes they're expensive, right? The market value for those two boxes at this time is like around $700, $800 almost, factoring in a little bit of a discount from our market and offloading and fees. Maybe you will be able to get around maybe 600, 650, maybe 600 the least, maybe 550 the least. Actually, not 550. These are worth like 800. So you'll probably get like maybe the lowest you'll get is $600. Maybe a little bit lower if someone is trying to get a deal off of you, or you're trying to get it offloaded that same day or afternoon, whatever. You're able to get around $550 to $700 potentially. So, and that's a good bit of change. But at the same time, is that generational? Is that generational wealth? No, that is not That is not generational wealth, because one can possibly make that if they save enough, if they have an income that offsets that whatever amount you put in, right? If you only put $700 in an investment account, it's not going to grow to the $1 million portfolio. So there is a level of having to put in money into it, but at the same time, it's a different asset or a different venture of investing, which is interesting. And that's the long game, and that's the risk that we all take in the Pokemon hobby space. But again, those that most of these YouTubers, most of these people, they've found ways to basically lower their cost basis, or basically they've even made it profitable to even have Pokemon. The products that they own, that's something that they're completely free in having a, I guess, financial impact from it, in the sense of like it won't affect them directly. It will just affect their net worth, their value. So it's really a game. It's really like a level system to it. And so what I want to say is, if you are new to this hobby and you are coming into this space, you have to definitely look into all the avenues of what you want to invest in, or maybe just collect. I would say booster boxes are the most safest investment or place to put your money into Pokemon, just because it's less volatile. It's proven to go up. Even the older sets that are not as good, the base sets of the previous eras, have always gone up. They've been higher than they were, when you first bought them. If you bought them at MSRP, if you bought them even after initial run up, they're probably even higher than the peak at the time when those were released. So, or maybe they were at their peak. I don't know. I can't really, tell the price points. So, yeah, like I said, guys, investing in Pokemon is something that you guys have to figure out and look into. And And yeah, there's probably ways to make money off of it. There's probably people that are whales and that have maybe $50,000, $100,000, maybe even $20,000 that have that are late that is just disposable income to them, or they're really willing to take that risk and they invest it into a Pokemon product, a Pokemon, grading play, whatever you want to call it, and they come out on top. If you guys bought booster boxes before the run up of those, especially Dragon Ball and all that stuff, if you invested $10,000 into booster boxes at $60, and then those booster boxes went up to $500 a piece, that's already about a 800% gain. And if you invested 10K, that's already $80,000 within a year. There's very few actual safe class stocks or safe investments. The only investment that could potentially get you that is a stock, and that's still very risky. An individual stock that has to rise that percentage, and that's so risky. So there's very much people in this space that are positioning themselves and making those moves to capitalize on that. And so I'm not trying to say that everything's going to crash and everything's going to go to zero, and that buying in at certain price points is the worst decision. But you have to analyze it at I guess a playing field. But like I said, it's different levels to it. If you know, but at the same time, like, it all kind of levels out at the end of the day, right? Especially for the booster boxes and stuff. Um, and for comparison, right? These people, the day traders, the people who move the money in the stock market day-to-day basis, they have to analyze and do all this sorts of stuff. I don't really know what they do, but they move the prices, or they people buy, sell, all those sorts of things. But if, like, you just bought at this certain point, if you bought today, waited 10 years, and it went up, and it has gone up, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to go into looking into the historical data, quarterly earnings, price point, is this the correct price? Is this undervalued, overvalued? Is this risky? Do I have to cycle into a different sector? Same thing with Pokemon. Maybe all these people, all these other investor players, um, they do that play. They take the actions to move those items and on the day-to-day thing. But if you're just the one person that just buys it, holds it, you don't have to worry about all the decluttering. So, let me know, guys, if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate you guys watching, first of all. But let me know, is this something that you can relate to? Or if you are new, has this crossed your mind? Have you gotten to this point of thinking? So that, maybe, if you're an investor or whatever, but if you're a player, that's still good, okay? I just, let me know in the comments down below. Are you making any plays? Are you just holding? Have you been in this hobby for X amount of time, and that you just bought things you liked, held them, and they've grown exponentially? And so, yeah, again, I want to see how this plays out in within 5 to 10 years. Just because, things can change, specifically individually, in your own life, in my own life, but it could be the world, could be anything else, I don't know. But it'll be cool to have that pitch black booster box in that case. Hopefully it comes in a pretty good condition. Things coming from the Pokemon Center aren't as the best of conditions. They just put some, I think they put some like cardboard or paper wrap in it, or some cardboard brown paper in it, and they just put it in a little box and they just ship it out. So hopefully it comes good. So, but like I said, yeah, guys, this is my take. This is my introspective thoughts of this entire hobby. And I will say that, I've done a lot of the buying, the selling, the trading, the flipping, the not necessarily scalping, but maybe you could say it's considered scalping, but I've done all of it. Not to the point where I've made billions of dollars, but like I've done it. I've done the selling, buying, selling percentages and all that sort of stuff. But it's interesting. It's really cool to see what would happen in the next 20 years. And so yeah, there's a 30th anniversary is coming up, and you know it's shaping out to be a really hype set. You know, the pre-order prices are crazy. Like I said, there's different levels to it. So maybe if you are a new investor or individual coming into the space, that you just joined Pokemon, maybe you like the games, maybe you like the characters, just like the aspect of it, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you if buying at these pre-order prices is good. I'm not doing that because again, it's pretty expensive. But again, if you want to invest into the Pokemon space, you have to set aside some money to buy those things. If I want to buy more booster boxes, I gotta buy the booster box. I gotta put aside some cash, buy it off of Facebook Marketplace, get a better deal than if we're buying online, and keep it in my sealed collection. But like I said, I've also bought singles too. So if like I said, like I buy this stuff and I kind of collect it or kind of buy, sell it. I like the One Piece stuff too. You got this cool, awesome stuff, and yeah, these are going. Selling these, but like I said, you know, it's all a waiting game. It's all seeing. You know, I've been here 1 year. I could have bought Surging Sparks booster boxes for 250. Could have bought Vivid Voltage booster boxes for 250. Could have bought way more different sets for lower. I remember my cousin, man, he bought a Silver Tempest booster box for like 260 back when he first introduced me to the hobby. So like there were still entry points where you could have bought stuff at a very good price. But now if you look up at a Silver Tempest booster box, it's like $500 now. Searching Sparks just now went up to $300. Vivid Voltage, same thing, 300, 350. So there's different opportunities to do. I guess today's price is not, or I don't know that saying, but like it just depends. So it's really cool, really interesting to see, and maybe I'll start capitalizing on that. But like I said, these are all physical investments, and you have to be careful because again, if someone can take these. But like I said, everything's risky. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts on this, and God willing, we'll see you guys in the next time. And yeah, peace.